Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Respect the Pick. We are continuing breaking down the best episodes of the Dick Van Dyke Show.
The worst.
And the worst. That's right. We started at 158, which would have been the worst, and we're going all the way down to one, the very
what are we
best
at right
episode.
now? What number?
Right now, we're at number 110, and this is going to take us all the way to episode 100 on the nose.
So once we get into the middle, right? Once we get to about 179, that will be the middle, right? 179.
Right.
Will put us dead in the middle of the...
So we're starting to get into some of the better episodes, but I still, like the last episode, we talked about that stupid...
that was Sick Boy and the Sitter. That was the first episode ever.
No, I'm not talking about that guy. I'm talking about the guy who helped Rob and makes him feel guilty. That episode.
Stretch Petrie versus Kid Shank.
That stupid episode is terrible.
And you're shocked that it made it as high as it did.
Yeah, that guy's so uncomfortable. Like, he comes in and starts making out with Laura and...
Yeah.
But I should have brought that up on the last episode.
That's okay.
So now what I need to know from you, because you have the list in front of you, is what is episode 110?
Give me your walls. The episode where they hire the painter.
I like that little dude.
Yeah, he's funny. Vito.
Yeah. He's another guy who I remember seeing on Batman.
Oh,
there's a lot of Dick Van Dyke Show guys on Batman.
Yeah, there is.
I can't remember who he ended up being.
A lot of those 1960s show, they have, there's a lot of episodes that were there. There's a lot of...
Well, it's the same thing as like today. Like the guy who Ben Wyatt punches in Parks and Rec.
Oh, right. He's in
B99.
Yeah.
And he was in, I think he was in The Office, right? Isn't he the guy who they want to steal the gift basket from?
Oh, yeah.
So that guy's in a bunch of other stuff too. It's
right.
They get contracts with certain production studios, and then they end up being in a lot of the same shows.
Yeah, character actors and such.
Yep.
So give me your walls, anyways. I'm surprised it made it as high as it did, but you gave it a pretty good rating. Jaden gave it a bad rating. You and Tandy gave it in the 50s. So
yeah,
you guys helped it up a little.
I like the dude. This is another one where there's a lot of jokes that didn't carry well, or a lot of plot lines. It's like, just remember who wears the pants in this family, okay? When he says that to Laura. Because she thinks she can go in and negotiate with him and make sure he gets a proper estimate.
Right.
But I'm telling you right now, there ain't no way I'm letting that dude sign his freaking name on there like that. Did you see how big and dark it was?
It wouldn't bother me.
Are you kidding me? If you're gonna sign it, you gotta sign it someplace better where I don't see it. If you're going to sign it that thick and that freaking dark.
Dude, you have fucking chalkboard paint in your room.
I can erase it. You can't erase that dude's name. Am I right?
You can paint over it.
Now, in two different places. This is the second house that my wife and I have owned. In our first house, we both signed our name in rafters in the basement. I wonder if they're still there. And then at my old job, under a table, in my office, in my old office, I signed my name in there too. When
I worked at a long time ago, but I work at Burger King, and Ryan and I hid money in Burger King.
Really?
Burger King spots.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
People walk into that.
So far, it's still there. I check on them once in a while to see if there's money.
Well, if you can see behind me, I have a bunch of trophies. We used to play a lot of wiffle ball. When I left the old house, we played wiffle ball day and night at that old house.
I have a bunch of trophies.
The very last day I lived in that house, I buried a wiffle ball under the pitcher's plate where pitcher's plate would be, and I buried one under where home plate would be.
Listen.
So it'll be forever known as wiffle ball. It would be
amazing if a tree sprouted up with wiffle balls. Wiffle balls hanging on.
They did. They probably found the one at home plate, because driving by, I think they do have a tree there. They planted a pine tree, so I wouldn't be surprised if they found that one. But I don't think they found the one at pitcher's plate.
Well, you have no idea,
right? I'll never know.
Okay,
so moving on to number 109,
Like a Sister. I like this one. This has Vic Damone.
Right.
He was like a famous singer, and one thing I learned about him is when he was young, he worked at a theater or a hotel or something where there was famous people, and he worked and he got in the elevator with Perry Como, and he stopped the elevator and sang.
Really?
And that's how Perry Cuomo's like, oh, wow, you're good. And he kind of helped his career start off that
Ballsy,
way.
man.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like, if you got to be really good for that to freaking work, because otherwise you're just going to piss the guy off and say, whatever you do, don't hire this son of a bitch.
Right.
So if you're like almost there and you just need a little bit of coaching, maybe don't try that.
Yeah, right. Vic Damone, but he was Rick Vallone in the episode.
Right.
And him and Sally, homemade lasagna. Well, I think Laura's just going to have lasagna chilling in the fridge. Like, what the hell is that? Like, hey, do you have any homemade lasagna?
Well, if there's only 3
what does
people
she have,
who
rice
live in the
pudding?
house.
Right? Is that?
And here's another thing. How the hell do you start in New York frickin' City and end up 50-minute drive away in New Rochelle looking for lasagna? Why do you leave New York City a night on the town to the sticks?
Homemade. They got to know people, right? They knew Laura.
But there's a gajillion and a half
And she even talks
people
about
in
how
New
good
York.
Laura's lasagna is, right?
You're
Because, of
telling
course,
me
Laura's perfect at making lasagna.
50 minutes out of New York City, and they're going to have to go back because you can't tell me that big guest star staying in the sticks.
Yeah, he's not staying in New Rochelle.
No. So some of that stuff is like crazy to me.
Well, you got to remember, too, people didn't think that much about the shows because you only watched it once, and it was gone. When they uttered a line, the line was gone forever for some people, right?
Yeah.
They didn't know it. I mean, unless you worked on the show, you didn't have access to watching it again. There was no YouTube. There was no Netflix. There was no VCRs. There was no DVRs. There was nothing.
Just
it was
reruns
gone.
if they ever played it on a rerun.
It was gone.
But I get pissed off if I have to get up at 10 o'clock at night and drive down the road to the gas station to get a thing of milk.
Yeah,
and these guys are driving to
They were young
New
lovers
Rochelle.
having fun together.
They weren't even lovers, according.
Well, Sally thought he was.
Yeah, Sally was.
I mean, until he started drinking his 4 snifters of cold tea, warm tea, right? What's a snifter?
Why did Laura, if she knew this whole time, why the hell did she let it go on?
And she got so mad, and she was like talking about how he was a drunk, and maybe he was drinking because he was upset. He was
Trying to let it down easy.
Trying to let Sally down easy, and then she's like, yeah, she knew all along. Like, well,
why wouldn't she step up and say, no, this isn't the way to do it. Knock it off.
It might have been the way to do it. I mean, it just kind of backfired. Obviously, it didn't work out because Sally didn't end up with Rick Vallone.
True.
Right?
And he seemed interested enough in her because he said, that's the kind of girl I got to get to know better.
Yeah.
And walks out singing about lasagna again. What's episode 108?
What a drunken bum! Oh, what a drunken bum!
The punch is so bad. He puts his hand up and says, "Here's what I do."
I want to do it with your wife.
And why would you set up Rob to punch him? You want him to punch Rob.
Right.
You want him to be the dick. Why do you want Rob to be the dick and make this guy feel bad? Come on.
True.
Put Rob Petrie on the pedestal who comes up with that plan.
Okay, now, what are we on now?
108.
108 is My Part-Time Wife. This is one when Laura goes and works at the office for a while because Sally's gone and they can't type.
Yep. Again, it's Rob being jealous. It's awkward. Him and Buddy don't get along. They can't type. Some of the excuses are ridiculous. Like Rob can't. I've seen Rob type shit all the time in that place.
I mean, he can't keep up with it. He doesn't type very good when he's drunk, though. Verben smarnitzen, furfen, snitzen, berlitzen. This is season 3, episode 22, by the way. My Part-Time Wife.
Yeah. Again, another the Sally-based episode but I mean, even though it's about Sally leaving, you don't really see her that much. So can you call it a Sally-based episode?
Yeah. And what does Laura? And Laura comes up with a joke about the gooey and center of the earth, and
is it chewy or chocolate cream? Right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Buddy
next.
laughs his ass off.
Is it 107?
Yep.
Father of the Week. This is just a rewrite of the actual pilot when Alan Brady played Rob Petrie, by the way. He was Petrie back then.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of that same episode.
Yeah. And the writers were so much younger in that pilot. Both Buddy and Sally seemed like they were a lot younger.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, I mean, because like Sally's in what, her mid 30s, early 40s.
Buddy's
in his late 40s, early 50s. And then these kids, they're like in their 20s.
Yeah, true. Mrs. Given, the teacher, is later on goes to play Mrs. Petrie.
Right.
She plays Clara Petrie.
She plays someone else too, I want to say.
I don't know, but she's the teacher, and then she's Rob's mom in Pink Pills and Purple Parents, right?
Right. And he had two moms. 2 moms and 3 different dads.
Right. The mom from the necklace is way different.
Right.
You know.
Right. That's the only one. That's the only one with both of those parents.
Mm-hmm.
And then S.A.M. Sam. He plays him a couple times, and then the last one who gives him the brooch plays quite a bit. Plays his dad quite a bit.
The brooch one is the one in Pink Pills and Purple Parents. That's the one where you see the
right. And the plot, but the cemetery plot is that dad or is it the other one?
That's EDW. I think so. I think that's that guy.
Okay, yeah, because those two both played his dad multiple times.
Yeah.
That's one of those episodes where Dick Van Dyke gets to showcase a bunch of his talent,
right.
Doing the pantomime and the
stuff.
The unicycle that he does in Mary Poppins and stuff like that. He's getting up there and puts on a show and tripping and so it's that part of it's fun.
Yeah, that's why the episode made it up a little bit higher. The next episode, speaking of, is The Plots Thicken.
Oh yeah, this one's funny.
106.
The streak where Rob is breaking down the problems to Buddy and Sally, and Buddy just keeps laying in those death jokes.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's very funny.
It's a funny episode. I don't watch it enough as I should. You gave it a very good rating, 78. So.
Yeah, mainly because Buddy Sorrell, more than almost any other character on TV, has me giggling so much. That guy, so freaking funny. It's not just what he says, it's the way he says it. It's his big bug eyes, sticking out of his head. And, the way he goes after Mel, and just his sense of humor is so good.
All right. 105, is that where we are?
Yep.
When a Bowling Pin Talks.
This is
I
another
can't
fun
believe
one.
this episode made it that high up, actually. But Crummy Buttons, Bowling Alley.
Yeah.
Was it Mr. Spunky? Is the clown, and the voice is Jerry Paris.
He's a sewer, apparently. He sues everybody for stealing his bits. Mm-hmm. Yep, the clown is definitely Jerry Paris.
Yeah.
And that's the episode where Laura's supposed to have that big, sexy outfit on, and she's wearing pants and a sweater.
Yeah.
I thought you'd never notice.
All right, so next episode, number 104, Honeymoons Are for the Lucky.
The honeymoons are for the lucky is the one where he wants a 3-day pass to go to the honeymoon, and they won't let him. So because he doesn't snitch, he knows who did it, but he doesn't want to snitch.
Right.
And he has to sneak out and dress up like a girl and go through the obstacle course. And
he does the thing where
yeah, that's pretty funny. And he even walks outside.
Yeah,
and he's creeping in through the window looking at him, waiting for him to dismiss him. And the guy notices him and goes,
his name is Laboost or Laboost
so
or
that's
something
pretty
like
funny.
that. Yeah.
So that girl, the maid, who helps Laura and
I think they're
Rob.
the owners, not just a maid.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but she's the maid in Never Bathe on Saturday.
Right. She's in Dragnet. Do you remember Dragnet?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
The movie.
When that guy stole my white wedding dress.
You mean the movie?
Yeah.
Not the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Which she might have been in the show for all we know.
True.
And she was in...
you need a little more on the other side. Yeah.
And she was in... what's the movie? I just freaking had it. Oh, Naked Gun 33 1/3.
Yo.
She played the mother of the main villain.
She's hilarious.
She is funny.
Hilarious.
She's just got that voice and that look and...
No rocking up there. Okay, the next episode, Love Thy Other Neighbors. I kind of like this one. This is one of the very last episodes that the show aired. Love Thy Neighbors. It's got the stags, right? And
we didn't do this one already?
No.
Oh, we talked about it because the other neighbor is the bullfighter in that episode.
Yeah.
And the best part of this episode is like another episode where just a random song is the best part about it. Mother, father, tell me true. Why do moo cows go moo moo and the horses go neigh neigh? What's that? The heck you say?
Is that? Do you think that's Carl Reiner singing that?
If I had to gamble on it, I would say yes.
Might be Jerry Paris too.
If I didn't know who, nah, I don't know.
One of those
he's already
two.
in the episode. You know,
Yeah.
they're usually the voiceovers. One of those two.
Yeah.
So if someone put a gun to my head and said you have to get this right, or I shoot you,
guess Carl
that's
Reiner.
who I would guess.
Yeah.
But
that episode's not bad. I like it because it makes Rob and Laura and their relationship with Alan, Jerry and Millie better. Right? It makes you kind of feel like, yeah, they're supposed to be buds.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a theme that they use a little bit in King of Queens. The guys from King of Queens, they also are the creators of Everybody Loves Raymond, and they do a lot of Dick Van Dyke Show episode like plots.
Okay.
They put a lot of theirs. I mean, I don't know if those are just common tropes type of thing, but they do a lot of that. Like you say, oh, that's just like a Dick Van Dyke Show episode. So if you love Dick Van Dyke, give Everybody Loves Raymond a try. It's good.
Well, I mean, maybe that's why they had Ray Romano host that one episode. Was that the reshoot that he did, or was it just another one of those specials? I think it was the one where they did like an updated episode. Dick Van Dyke Show Revisited. I think he hosted that.
I mean, a lot of comedians love the Dick Van Dyke Show.
It's weird because the color schemes kind of change in those. Like the one with, this is Charles Kuralt, and he did the thing, and Alan Brady was played by Carl Reiner. When they did that thing, it was like blue. And then when Richie came in, they did it like red. Maybe Richie changed it when he got older, when Ray Romano came in.
I mean, you think they would know, like Richie and Carl Reiner and Dick Van Dyke, if they did it, they would know what the set looked like.
Right.
But I mean, you don't know how much they cared about the colors when they were shooting because it was in black and white.
Right.
So.
Like, if I'm not mistaken, didn't they change, like, George Reeves? His Superman suit wasn't blue.
Oh,
it was like a different color, I think, because they couldn't see it anyway, and they wanted like more of a contrast or something. I think I remember seeing something like that. So
I mean, that could be.
Yeah,
could be for sure. All right, now we're on
102.
The Alan Brady Show goes to jail.
I freaking love
Don
Rickles. I mean, he's not the greatest in this because he's kind of known for being a dick.
Right, but he's funny.
I
like the first
one
better.
Yeah, he was more of a dick in the first one, but it was pretty funny whenever they're like booing, and he's like, hey, come on, calm down. At least let him, get up here.
Yeah.
After they perform, we'll get him. But again, it's just, some of these episodes are so frustrating to me how simple of a solution there is.
Okay.
Like, hey, there's Saul again, the guard who won't let Rob out.
Oh yeah,
there's Saul and Sam and Harrison B. Harding,
and
so that's
Sam
4.
from Brady Bunch.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes it's just, I mean, I don't know. You'd think that there has to be some kind of protocol for letting guests in, so to make sure that kind of thing doesn't happen.
Yeah,
you can't let
a visitor pass or something.
Right. These guys are gracious enough to come in and perform for criminals, and you're gonna fucking throw them in a jail cell and why would they wear the exact uniform? They're on a TV show. You're telling me they don't have their own costumes to wear,
right.
Where they don't have to freaking borrow and create that kind of confusion as well?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just sometimes
it's trying to make it funny. So like
right. That's why I could never be a writer.
I mean,
because I would never be able to say.
You're telling me a guy can wear a suit and fly with it because he has a suit on that's made out of iron and it can fly.
I couldn't go out of the believability of it all. Like, it drives me crazy sometimes in Avengers where they have all these suits where they just press a button and it just forms their body and covers everything, and it's like, get the fuck out of here.
Nanotech, you like it?
Yeah, it's just supposed to be a dumb movie, and you're supposed to have fun with it and enjoy it.
Well, now we're going way off on a tangent, but a lot of the Iron Man movies, some of the problems were his ability to get to his suit, right? Like A couple, like the one with Whiplash, he has to get into his car. The Whiplash
Right.
is after him, and then in
He's got
the third one,
suitcase.
the third one, he's like up stuck, and they got him, and he's like talking crap to the girl and the other guy. And he's like, "I'm gonna kill you," and this stuff like that. And he's waiting for his stuff to come, and then in Avengers: Infinity War, he just does this. And
Right.
by the way, his glasses just disappear.
Oh, I never paid attention to that.
Watch
before.
that when he's like when he goes to fight Squidward. He presses he has his glasses are in his hand. He pushes a button. As his suit comes up, his glasses just disappear.
Interesting. And another thing is, you notice him limp when he says, "You might want to put that in your back pocket, Doc."
Oh yeah,
he's got a limp because he hurt himself on set. So that's what I always notice.
Okay.
101. We got 2 more episodes.
101. My husband is the best one.
Again, we just talked about this. We're putting Rob on a pedestal. I don't necessarily love it, but I don't know. It just seems like if you're a part of any other part of the cast would be like, what's so special about this douchebag? Even though you love him and you've been working together for 5 years,
I don't think
it's like, why is this guy? Probably not back then.
But they love him. So
yeah,
I mean, there's times when he stands up for Buddy and Sally. And,
of course, there's time. Yeah,
the one when the one that I was a teenage head writer. He quits, and then they don't quit at first, but then they did quit. He just didn't know it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and the Rays.
Talk to the snail. They wanted to stay together. And
right. Yep.
Stuff like that.
The one where they want to do the Rays and they do the flower pot.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't hurt to give us a raise.
Right. So.
Okay, the last one in this episode, is that what we're on?
Yeah, number 100 on the nosy.
This one I kind of like. I don't know if you like, but it made it up because I gave it a pretty good rating. Boy 1, Boy 2.
Yeah,
it's the one when Richie and Freddie are in a commercial that Mel is directing, and
they make fun of him. He comes in, he's got all the director gear on.
Yeah, and they picked on him. This is funny.
Now, am I wrong? Didn't they have a point where like Richie was on the pitcher's mound in the catcher's gear and the kid was in the back? Maybe not.
They were so close to each other throwing. How were they throwing the ball to each other?
And then there's like they do all these takes, and then there's only one where he has to throw the ball and he hits him. And then let's pretend you already threw it over to here, but you only see him throw the ball once.
Yeah. Well, we're only watching part of it.
Yeah.
We're only showing the part that was worthy of television. Right?
Yeah.
Like people are like, oh, of course. Never mind. Get that. Anyway,
they had a whole reel.
Yeah.
These
things are priceless.
Fun.
Yeah, they're not worth a thing.
Could you imagine if that's how you had to rewatch shit back in the day? Set up the stupid thing and plug it in and listen to all that shit the whole time you're watching.
I remember when I was a kid watching those movies. Like if it was bad outside and we couldn't go out for playground, they'd bring out these freaking projectors with these freaking reel to reel.
You have to sit there watching, slide it in here and under here and back under here and all this
reel
other
to
stuff.
reel, and it would go. They have to go up and push it.
And when it ends, it
that's what they were using.
but it was big. It was a nice big screen. That's one thing that's fun about it. Is you get a nice big giant screen, and the TVs just got freaking tiny back in the day.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's the one good thing you had about it. Well, it kind of stinks that the last episode we had to talk about wasn't much to talk about.
Well, I wanted to say I think Millie and Laura have good opportunities to be funny in that, and I think they're funny there. I think that's an episode that Millie's in a little bit more.
But again, and then it all comes down to Rob having to take over just because he casted the show.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't Mel recommend Richie in the first place?
He asked about Richie. He didn't remember.
Right. If I'm not mistaken, he asked about Richie first.
Yeah.
So then he comes back and says, "You cast it, Rob, not me."
Okay, but I mean, the show is about him. The show is called The Dick Van Dyke Show. So, I mean, it's just going to happen.
You're right.
They're not going to make the episode. They're not going to make the episode Rob sitting up in the office while Mel directs the episode.
Well, maybe that could be funny.
I guess, but back then, if you had a star, you used the star.
Right.
You know, I mean, what episode is Rob in the least? It's got to be.
It's hard to think of one that he would be in the least.
Long Night's Journey into Day.
Absolutely.
That's got to
be a good
be.
call.
That's got to be the one that he's in the least.
Right. And maybe like Ballad of Betty Lou. There's a lot of Laura and Millie And the ski episode, there's a lot of Laura and Millie wondering where he is and worrying about him. So those are all,
But I think Long Night's Journey into Today is by far.
Probably.
It's also one of the last episodes they made.
Yep.
So that's the end.
Some of the very last ones were some of the best episodes.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to say this, but I will say that our next episode, which is going to be episode number 100. Nope, 99.
99.
So that's why it's 11. So that makes sense. So next episode is going to be 99. And the only hint I'll give you is it's a pretty good episode, love, eh? What?
I used to do pretty good, Tracy, running back in the day.
We just gave it away, damn it. Okay.
Oh, come on. You don't think Dad gave it away on this group? They know.
I should have said, show me what?
There you go.
Richard Dawson. Okay, so that's it. We're down to the bottom 58 episodes are gone.
Yeah, we're into the hundreds.
We have just named the 100th best episode. It was Boy 1, Boy 2. Anything from now on, included with Boy 1, Boy 2, is the top 100 episodes of the greatest television show in the history of television, The Dick Van Dyke Show. Let us know what you think. And I bet some of you already have some of you know which ones. Like, you're like, oh, none of my favorites have been eliminated yet, right? Which one do you think is most likely in someone's top 10 that we've already eliminated from the top 10? I mean, by us, we would have to say Boy 1, Boy 2, because that has the highest rating.
Right, that's the highest ranking.
But your highest rated episode as of right now is The Plots Thicken. That is your highest rated.
That's a good episode. None of these I don't think anyone would ever pick as the best episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show.
No, but I'm just saying maybe like which one is the most like out of the ones that we've already eliminated, your highest one was The Plots Thicken. My highest one so far has been To Tell or Not. Nope. Turtles, Ties, and Toreadors is my number. Wait, we're not even that high up yet.
We haven't done Turtles, Ties, and Toreadors yet?
It's because I gave it a good rating.
Yeah, you boosted it up, didn't you?
So I guess my highest rated one so far is The Alan Brady Show Goes to Jail.
Okay.
Nope. Yep.
All right. So if you missed some of these episodes, okay, but you don't want to watch them on YouTube, tell you what, go to Spotify, go to iHeartRadio.
Yeah, we're not on iTunes yet.
Yeah,
right?
we are.
Oh, we're on.
Yeah, man.
We're on iTunes. Jaden would kill me for making this joke every single time. So I'm glad Jaden's not here.
iHeartMedia, Amazon Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts.
Are we on iHeartMedia? We're not.
Yes, we are.
We didn't get on there. I'm not kidding on that one.
No, we're there.
Because I tried to go there and we could.
I've looked this up. I found us on all these big things.
All right.
You can find us anywhere. If you want to listen to us instead of watching us, you can find us any major podcast platform. And if you do want to continue to watch us on YouTube and you haven't yet, please please subscribe, please ring the bell for notifications.
And comment. If you comment, I promise I'll give you a kiss.
That's a good reason for them to not comment.
No, seriously. If you comment, we will reply.
Yeah, I do my best. I don't. I mean, obviously, I don't check this as much as my other YouTube channel, but I try to get on and check it. Unfortunately, it takes more of us to get together to do this one,
right?
So it's harder for us to pump them out like I do my videos. But I love seeing the feedback, good or bad.
Yeah, I want to hear it. You can make fun of us. We don't care. We don't care.
All right, so subscribe, comment. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. And we will see you again very, very soon, breaking down Dick Van Dyke or anything else you want to hear about. See ya.